Welcome to our channel. Today, we continue our journey through Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. If you missed the previous video on chapters 31 and 32, be sure to check it out. Now, let's dive back into 19th century England and high society. You are listening to Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. In chapter 33, Mr. Darcy finally explains his actions to Elizabeth. Elizabeth and her aunt and uncle, the Gardiners, are visiting the Pemberley estate, where they run into Mr. Darcy. Elizabeth is initially uncomfortable and tries to leave, but Mr. Darcy invites them to tour the estate, and they accept. During the tour, they witness Mr. Darcy's kindness and generosity towards his tenants and servants, which contrasts significantly with Elizabeth's previous opinions of him. Later, Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth have left alone, and he takes the opportunity to explain his behavior toward her. He reveals that he was motivated by his love for her and his desire to protect her and her family from the scandal of her sister Lydia's elopement with Mr. Wickham. He also confesses having interfered in Mr. Bingley's relationship with Jane Bennet, but only because he believed that Jane did not truly love Bingley. Elizabeth is shocked by Mr. Darcy's revelations, and he leaves her to think about what he has said. Through this chapter, Mr. Darcy's character is redeemed, and Elizabeth begins to see him in a new light. In chapter 34 of Pride and Prejudice, Darcy and Elizabeth have a conversation that helps to clear the air between them. However, Elizabeth still harbors resentment towards Darcy for his involvement in separating Bingley from Jane and hurting her reputation. Darcy tries to explain his actions, but Elizabeth remains guarded. He then hands her a letter in which he lays out all of his reasons for his behavior clearly and honestly. In the letter, Darcy explains that his interference with Bingley and Jane was due to his concerns about Jane's lack of interest in Bingley and her close relationship with the Gardiners, whom he believed to be socially beneath the Bingleys. He also explains how he felt guilty for spreading rumors about Elizabeth and how he wants to make amends. Elizabeth is shocked by the letter's contents and re-evaluates her previous judgments of Darcy. She begins to see that he is not the proud and disdainful man she had thought him to be, but instead, a man of integrity trying to protect his friend and do what was right. This realization profoundly impacts Elizabeth's feelings toward Darcy, and she begins to see him in a new light. The chapter ends with Elizabeth and Darcy feeling hopeful about their relationship's future. However, Darcy leaves with the promise to return, and Elizabeth is left with much to think about. Thank you for joining us for this summary of Pride and Prejudice, chapters 33 and 34. Stay tuned for more twists and turns in this beloved classic. Don't forget to subscribe for updates, and if you need a copy of the book, check the link in the description. Get ready to fall in love with Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy all over again. See you in our next video.